This video is for all of my high achievers and my high income earners out there. I mean this in the nicest way, but you all have the tendency to make the strangest financial planning decisions that come across my desk. And so I just thought I would talk to that a little bit. So perhaps you can make some different decisions sooner. How about that? Here's what I often see is that those of you, again, particularly in tech and medicine, go from making very little money to a whole lot of money almost overnight. And that particular experience has a lot of impact on how you start to make your decisions. So here's some of the things that I see that I think are often detrimental for you all. One is that you have a lot of people around you, friends, acquaintances, colleagues, coworkers, that will say things like, hey, I'm investing in fill in the blank, and you should too, even if they don't say it that directly. And so you start to think, oh, well, maybe I should. And those people actually might be years ahead of you in their careers, might have a greater bandwidth for risk. They're usually very smart. These are not stupid people. And oftentimes they've vetted whatever they are investing in. And you should do the same if you're going to join them. But very often there is a mentality of, well, if they're doing it, it's probably okay, so I'm going to do it too. And I think that particular aspect is dangerous for you all, because then you put a whole lot more money into something like that than perhaps you have actually the financial bandwidth to do. Another thing that I see with my high income earners and my high achievers is that you often put off financial planning because everything is going so well, or frankly, you're working so hard, you don't have the time. And you, because you are making so much money and have achieved a level of success in your lives, you now have the ability to set your lives up like for the long term. And you put that off because you're too busy or not wanting to get around to it. And actually, that is one of the greatest detriments that you can do in financial planning, because time is actually one of your greatest assets. So as you're making all this money, it's going to be an opportunity for you to set yourself up for life. So don't put that off. Another thing that I see with my high income earners and my high achievers is they put decisions off about things like life insurance. And I don't know if you remember this story from, oh gosh, it has to be 20 years ago now. There was a family that was traveling in the snow in Oregon. They took a wrong turn because they missed their exit. They ended up stranded. The husband got out of the car to go get help, and he ends up passing away. And the wife and the two kids end up being rescued, probably after he died. Super sad story. But the word on the street was that they hadn't gotten any life insurance. And so I think there was whatever the thing was at the time, it was a GoFundMe like campaign that then raised money for the kids to go to college. It's those kinds of decisions that get put off by my high income earners and my high achievers that, again, are just detrimental to their overall financial well-being. The other thing that I want to say, and I want to be delicate around this as well, is that age discrimination in employment is a thing. I'm not saying that it's right. Of course, it's not right, but it happens, and I'm watching it in my client base. So it used to be that your 50s were often, and your even early 60s were often the time in your life where you were achieving the greatest amount of income. That has actually slid back a little bit into the 40s. And so I think what happens with my high achievers and my high income earners, and people in particular in tech and medicine, is they think, well, I'm just going to keep making more and more money as I get older, so I can take these particular risks now. And I think that's a little bit short-sighted. That actually may not come to pass. It might be that when you hit your 50s, or really kind of your early 60s, your income is going to level off. It's perhaps not going to continue to grow. And that's a detriment to your overall financial well-being as well. And if you can take that into account and make some different decisions when you're younger, it's going to support you when you are much older. So I just think that there are things that are particular to my high income earners and my high achievers that get in their way psychologically to getting financial planning done. And this is why I want you to pay more attention as you're in your 40s and 50s. So again, you can do the highest and best things with your money and really set yourself up for a really solid future. If you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to talk to you. I'm Jessica Lanning. Lanning Does Planning.